All of the sculptors here are more than capable of sculpting the clothing on a piece. We do it fairly often. But when the art direction calls for something more, the responsibility falls on the cut and sew department to raise the level of authenticity through costume design.
If you can take a figure and clothe it and have people take a second look at it because they can't tell if it was all sculpted or if there's fabric on there, that's the moment when you know you've hit something really special.
It's like reading a comic book. You know, at the end of every sentence there's an exclamation point. You never see a period in a comic book, and so that's the same thing that we're trying to do with these clothes, is that they are an exclamation point.
Our job is to make clothing that accentuates the dynamic of the character. So if you've got a statue of a figure that's leaping over a wall, our job is to make clothing that carries that action through. We're tailoring it specifically to the pose so that you get the movement and the action that's conveyed in the sculpt carried through into the fabric.
And each department, we want to rise to meet that challenge. Ours is no different. And oftentimes we can get into something extremely complex just to bring a little more detail, something a little more interesting about that character.
And essentially that's what costume design is identification of the character. Even before an actor opens his mouth, you get an idea of what that character is like based on what he looks like.
We make clothing that's already lived in. We really need to rely on several sets of skills. Not only do we have to sew, do we have to be able to pattern, we've got to be able to rough things up a little bit. We've got to really give the clothes a character of their own. There are processes involved that your standard tailor doesn't necessarily have to think about, which is both the joy and the challenge of it.
Everybody has their own unique spin, their own unique take, their own look at things, but when everything comes together and you see that for the first time, done, finished, it's absolutely incredible.
The exciting part for me is seeing fans' reactions to the work that we do in miniature, and to see their jaw drop at how we were able to get so much into such little real estate. It brings such a sense of satisfaction to me.